Captain Jake Morrison stood on the bridge of the Terra Nova and watched the huge space station grow larger through the main screen. Kepler Station was massive, bigger than any city on Earth. It spun slowly in space, its metal surface covered with lights that blinked like stars. This was it. Humanity's first meeting with the galaxy. "We're getting close, Captain," said Lisa Hayes from her station. She was the ship's expert on alien life, and she had spent months studying the signals they caught from space. "The station is sending us docking instructions." Jake nodded. His hands felt sweaty inside his gloves. 3 years ago, Earth had picked up radio signals from this part of space. The signals were clearly from intelligent beings, not natural sources. After months of work, Earth's best scientists had figured out how to send a reply. The aliens had answered back and invited humans to meet them at this station. "Any word on who we'll be meeting?" Jake asked. Lisa checked her notes. "From what we can tell, there are 12 different alien species in something called the Galactic Coalition. The main ones seem to be the Corvins, the Zephyrians, and the Neferi. The Corvins appear to be the strongest military power." Behind them, Dr. Amy Parker was reading through her diplomatic files one more time. She was Earth's best negotiator, chosen to speak for all humanity. "Remember," she said, "we want to join this coalition as equals. Earth has a lot to offer." The Terra Nova moved slowly toward the docking bay. Through the windows, they could see alien ships of all shapes and sizes. Some looked like crystals, others like flowing metal. None looked anything like human ships. A voice came through the radio, speaking English with a strange accent. "Human vessel, you are cleared to dock. At Bay 7, a welcome party is waiting for you." Jake felt his heart beat faster. This was really happening. 20 minutes later, Jake, Lisa, and Amy walked through the station's airlock. The gravity felt normal, and the air was breathable, just as the aliens had promised. But everything else was alien. The walls were made of some kind of smooth, dark material that seemed to glow from within. Strange symbols covered the surfaces, probably writing in alien languages. The corridor was huge, tall enough for beings much larger than humans. 3 aliens waited for them. The first was clearly a Corvin, Jake realized. It stood nearly 8 feet tall, covered in scales that looked like green armor. Its eyes were yellow and cold. Behind it stood something that looked like it was made of living crystal, probably a Zephyrian. The third alien floated in what looked like a tank of gas, its body flowing like liquid. "Welcome, humans," said the Corvin in that same strange accent. "I am Ambassador Zektar of the Corvin Empire. This is Counselor Vex of the Zephyrian Collective, and Minister Gloin of the Nefari Dominion." Amy stepped forward and smiled. "Thank you for welcoming us. I am Dr. Amy Parker, representing Earth and all humanity. This is Captain Jake Morrison and Commander Lisa Hayes." Zektar looked them up and down slowly. His yellow eyes seemed to be studying every detail. "Interesting," he said. "You are much as we expected. Soft skin, no natural weapons, no armor. Tell me, Dr. Parker, how do your people defend themselves?" "We have weapons and armies," Amy replied carefully. "But we prefer to solve problems through talking and trade." The crystal being Counselor Vex made a sound like wind chimes. "How peaceful. We have studied your radio signals. Your technology seems quite basic. Chemical rockets, metal projectiles for weapons. We had similar tools many thousands of years ago." Jake felt his face getting hot, but Amy kept smiling. "We may not be as advanced as you, but humans learn quickly. We're eager to share knowledge and work together." Zektar's mouth opened, showing rows of sharp teeth. Jake realized this was probably how Corvins smiled, but it looked more like a threat. Of course, the coalition always welcomes new members, though we must be careful about how much responsibility we give to developing species. They walked through the station's corridors as the aliens explained how the coalition worked. Jake noticed other alien beings watching them as they passed. Some pointed and made sounds that might have been laughter. Others just stared like humans were fascinating animals in a zoo. The meeting room was huge, with a table that could seat dozens of beings. Representatives from all 12 coalition species were there. Jake noticed that the Corvin sat at the head of the table, clearly in charge. "Now then," Zektar said as everyone sat down, "let us discuss Earth's place in our coalition." Amy opened her files. "We hope to become full members with all the rights and responsibilities that come with membership. Earth has much to offer. Our people are creative, hardworking, and peaceful. We have resources, art, and new ideas." A Corvin military officer leaned over to whisper something to Zektar. The ambassador nodded. "General Thakran reminds me that coalition membership requires certain standards: military strength, advanced technology, proven ability to contribute to galactic security." "Earth has defensive forces," Amy said. "We've had no wars between nations for over 50 years. This caused what sounded like laughter from several aliens. Counselor Vex spoke up. "Forgive us, but a species that cannot even fight among themselves seems hardly ready for the dangers of galactic politics. There are hostile forces beyond coalition space. Pirates, raiders, aggressive species that respect only strength." General Thakran, an even larger Corvan covered in scars, stood up. "I have studied your military broadcasts. Your soldiers carry simple chemical weapons. They ride in vehicles with no energy shields. They fight on foot like animals." He paused. "In my military opinion, a single Corvan battlecruiser could conquer your entire world." Jake felt anger rising in his chest, but Amy touched his arm gently. "We understand your concerns," she said calmly. "Perhaps we could start with a limited membership while Earth develops its capabilities." Zektar exchanged looks with the other alien leaders. They seemed to be communicating somehow without speaking. Finally, he nodded. "The coalition is willing to offer Earth-protected status. You would become members, but under the guidance and protection of more advanced species. The Corvan Empire would be honored to serve as your protectors." "What would that mean exactly?" Amy asked. "Corvan advisors would help guide Earth's development. We would establish bases in your system to protect you from outside threats. Your ships would travel with Corvan escorts for safety. Your people would learn from us and in time perhaps earn full membership." Amy was quiet for a long moment. Jake could see she was thinking hard. Lisa was taking notes, but her face was troubled. "We would need to discuss this with our government," Amy finally said. "Of course," Zektar replied. "But do not take too long. The galaxy is dangerous for unprotected worlds." As they prepared to leave, Jake heard General Thakran talking quietly to another Corvan officer. He caught a few words that chilled him: weak prey, easy conquest, and useful resources. On the trip back to Earth, the three humans sat in the ship's meeting room reviewing everything that had happened. "They don't respect us," Lisa said. "They think we're primitives." "More than that," Jake added. "I think they see us as potential slaves. Did you hear that general talking about conquest?" Amy nodded slowly. "I heard it too. But what choice do we have? If we refuse their offer, they might decide we're a threat. And if what they say about hostile aliens is true..." "So we accept being junior partners?" Jake asked. "For now," Amy said. "But I think we need to be very careful. These aliens may be our friends, but they definitely don't see us as equals." The Terra Nova continued its journey back to Earth, carrying news that would change humanity forever. Behind them, at Kepler Station, alien leaders were already making plans for their newest, protected world. 6 months had passed since the meeting at Kepler Station. Earth had accepted the Coalition's offer, though no one was happy about it. Admiral Steve Collins stood in the command center on Luna Base Alpha, watching Corvan ships patrol near Mars. The aliens had moved fast to establish their protection of the solar system. "Another trade convoy just got turned away," reported Colonel Maria Santos, walking up to his desk. She was in charge of keeping track of what the aliens were doing. "The Corvans said the cargo ship didn't have proper permits." Steve frowned. "Every week the rules got stricter. Human ships could barely leave Earth's orbit without alien permission. The promised technology sharing had turned into a one-way street, with aliens taking Earth's resources and giving back very little." Any word from Professor Clark's team? Steve asked. Maria nodded. They're making progress. Ben thinks he's figured out how their faster-than-light drives work. But they need more time. Down on Earth, Professor Ben Clark was working in a secret, underground lab beneath the Rocky Mountains. His team had been studying pieces of alien technology for months. Katie Foster, his best engineer, was bent over a strange device that hummed with energy. "Look at this," Katie said, pointing to the alien power cell. "It's amazing, but it's also really specialized. They built this to do one thing perfectly, but it can't adapt to do anything else." Dr. Ryan Bell looked up from his computer. "That's what I'm seeing too. All their tech is like that. Super advanced, but narrow. They never learned to make things that could change or be used for different jobs." Ben nodded thoughtfully. "Humans have always been good at taking one tool and using it for something completely different. Maybe that's our advantage." Meanwhile, in space, tensions were getting worse. The Nepheri had demanded exclusive rights to mine Jupiter's moons. They claimed humans were too primitive to extract resources from gas giant environments. President Helen Ward had refused, leading to the coalition cutting off promised technology transfers. Captain Nick Taylor commanded the research vessel Discovery. His mission was supposed to be simple: study the outer planets and look for useful resources. But when his ship's navigation system had a problem near Proxima Centauri, everything went wrong. "Captain," his communications officer called out, "we're getting signals from Corvin ships. They're telling us to stop immediately." Nick checked their position. "We're not in any restricted area according to our charts." "Sir, they're saying this is a coalition military zone. They want us to surrender for inspection." Nick felt his stomach drop. "Tell them we'll cooperate, but we're just a research ship." The answer came quickly. "They're not listening, Captain. 3 Corvin battlecruisers are approaching fast." What happened next shocked everyone who heard about it. The Corvin ships opened fire without warning, destroying the Discovery in seconds. All 43 crew members died instantly. The official Corvin report claimed the human ship had been spying on coalition military exercises. Back on Luna Base, Admiral Collins received the news with growing anger. "They murdered our people," he said to Colonel Santos. 43 good men and women killed for being in the wrong place." "It gets worse," Maria replied. "Our spy satellites show massive alien military buildup throughout the system. Way more ships than they need for protection." Steve looked at the data she handed him. Corvin battle groups were positioned near every major human colony. Zephyrian monitoring stations watched every communication channel. Nephari gas extraction platforms were being converted into weapons platforms. "They're not protecting us," Steve realized. "They're getting ready to invade us." The breakthrough came when Dr. Clark's team intercepted alien communications. Ryan had figured out how to decode their military channels. What they heard made their blood run cold. "The humans grow more troublesome each day," General Thakran was saying to his commanders. "They ask too many questions about our military presence. They resist our guidance." Another Corvin voice replied, "Perhaps it is time to move to the next phase. Full occupation would solve these problems." "Soon," Thakran agreed. "But first, we must ensure they have no ability to resist. Their hidden military facilities must be identified and neutralized." Ben immediately contacted Admiral Collins with the recording. "They know we have secret bases," he warned, "but they don't know where they all are yet." Steve made a decision that would change everything. He called President Ward on a secure channel. "Ma'am, we need to activate Operation Silent Thunder now." Operation Silent Thunder was humanity's secret weapon. For months, while appearing to cooperate with their alien protectors, humans had been preparing. Underground bunkers had been expanded into vast networks. Civilian space stations had been secretly equipped with hidden weapons. Asteroid mining operations had become disguised military bases. Dr. Clark's team worked around the clock to reverse engineer alien technology. They couldn't match alien materials, but human creativity found ways around the problems. Katie Foster designed hybrid systems that combined human flexibility with alien power sources. "The beautiful thing is," Ben explained to his team, They think we're too primitive to understand their technology. They never bothered to hide it from us properly. All across the solar system, humans began their secret preparations. Captain Sarah Stone commanded a hidden base inside Ceres asteroid. Her job was to coordinate supply lines that the aliens didn't know existed. Commander Alex Murphy ran what looked like a simple mining operation in the asteroid belt, but his miners were actually military engineers building weapons. The aliens remained confident in their superiority. Ambassador Zektar reported to the Coalition Council that humans were proving to be obedient subjects. They complain occasionally, he said, but they lack the will to resist. Their military forces are pathetic. General Thakran was preparing his final assault plans. Once we control their government directly, these humans will make excellent workers. They breed quickly and follow orders well. But the Corvins were making a mistake. They were watching Earth's obvious military bases and government buildings. They never thought to look underground or inside seemingly innocent civilian structures. Human engineers had learned to hide things in places aliens would never think to search. President Ward called a secret meeting of Earth's top leaders. They met in a bunker 3 miles beneath Denver, in a facility the aliens didn't know existed. The intelligence is clear, she told the assembled group. They plan to invade us within weeks. The question is, are we ready? Admiral Collins stood up. Our forces are in position. The aliens think they know where our military is, but they've only seen what we wanted them to see. Our real strength is hidden. Colonel Santos added, their communications are compromised. We're reading their messages faster than they are. We'll know when they're coming before they do. Professor Clark spoke last. Our weapons won't match theirs ship for ship, but we've learned to use their own technology against them. And we've developed tactics they won't expect. President Ward looked around the room. Then we're as ready as we'll ever be. God help us all. Above them, on Earth's surface, Corvin advisors were reporting that human society was stable and controlled. They had no idea that beneath their feet, humanity was preparing for war. The final trigger came when General Thakran decided to test human resolve. He sent troops to occupy the United Nations building in New York, claiming it was for humanity's protection. His soldiers pushed aside human guards and took control of the building. President Ward received the news in her bunker. This was it. The aliens had made their move. Send the signal, she ordered. Across the solar system, hidden bases received. A simple message. Thunder rolls. The war was about to begin. The war began at exactly 3:47 a.m. Earth time, when General Thakran's invasion fleet dropped out of faster-than-light travel near Earth. Hundreds of Corvin warships appeared in space, their hulls gleaming like deadly metal insects. On the surface, alien troops poured out of hidden bases that had been disguised as diplomatic facilities. This is General Thakran of the Corvin Empire, came the broadcast to every radio and television on Earth. The time for pretense is over. Humans will surrender immediately and accept direct Corvin rule. Any resistance will be crushed. In her underground command bunker, President Helen Ward watched the alien ships on her screens. Beside her, Admiral Collins was already giving orders to hidden bases across the solar system. All units, this is Thunder Command, Steve said into his microphone. Operation Silent Thunder is now active. Repeat, we are at war. The Corvins expected the same easy victory they had won on dozens of other worlds. Their first targets were Earth's obvious military bases and government buildings. Alien bombers screamed down from space, unleashing energy weapons that turned buildings to ash. But then something happened that shocked the invaders. The humans fought back. Captain Sarah Stone's voice crackled over the radio from beneath New York City. Thunder Command, this is Underground Base 7. We have visual on alien ground troops, beginning counterattack now. The Corvin soldiers marching through Times Square suddenly found themselves under attack from impossible directions. Human fighters emerged from subway tunnels, sewer systems, and basement levels of buildings. They fired weapons the aliens had never seen before, hybrid guns that combined human engineering with stolen alien technology. "Where are they coming from?" shouted a Corvin officer as his squad took heavy fire from what looked like an empty street. The answer came when human soldiers burst up through manholes and storm drains all around the alien unit. The Corvins had studied human surface military bases, but they had never thought to look underground. Humans had turned their entire cities into three-dimensional battlefields. In space, the surprise was even greater. Commander Alex Murphy activated his signal from what the aliens thought was just another asteroid mining platform. "This is Ghost Base 1. All hidden stations weapons free." Across the asteroid belt, dozens of seemingly innocent mining operations suddenly revealed their true nature. Hidden weapons emerged from hollowed-out asteroids. Disguised human warships that had been pretending to be cargo haulers dropped their false exteriors and engaged the alien fleet. General Paul Grant coordinated the space battle from Luna Base Alpha. "The aliens are confused," he reported to Admiral Collins. "Their formations are breaking up. They don't know which targets are real and which are decoys." The Battle of Luna became the turning point. General Thakran had sent his best fleet to capture humanity's main space shipyard. He expected to find a few human patrol boats protecting an easy target. Instead, he found Captain Rachel Stone waiting for him with the hidden defense fleet. Her ships had been disguised as construction vessels and cargo haulers. When the Corvin fleet approached Luna expecting an easy victory, Rachel's forces surrounded them. "Corvin ships, this is Captain Stone of the Luna Defense Force," she broadcast. "You are surrounded. Surrender now." Thakran's laughter echoed across the radio channels. "Foolish human. You have perhaps 20 small ships. I have 100 battle cruisers. You cannot possibly win." "Maybe not," Rachel replied, "but we don't fight like you do." What happened next became legend among human forces. Instead of the straightforward battle the Corvins expected, the humans scattered in all directions. Small groups of human ships led Corvin squadrons on wild chases through the asteroid belt, where more hidden human forces waited in ambush. Dr. Ben Clark's technological surprises proved decisive. Human ships equipped with hybrid drive systems could change direction and speed in ways that confused alien targeting computers. The quantum torpedoes designed by Katie Foster could phase through alien shields, striking the ships inside their protective barriers. "Their shields are useless," Katie reported from her mobile command center. "The torpedoes pass right through them like they're not even there." But the real shock came when Admiral Collins arrived in the Retribution, a massive, human warship that the aliens didn't know existed. The ship had been built in secret using reverse-engineered alien technology combined with human innovation. General Thakran, Collins broadcast, as his ship emerged from behind Luna. "I believe you said one Corvin battlecruiser could conquer our entire world. Would you like to test that theory?" The Corvin general was stunned. The human ship was huge, larger than his own flagship, and its weapon systems were unlike anything in Corvin databases. "Impossible," he whispered. "Where did they get such technology?" The answer came from his own science officer. "Sir, scanning shows the ship uses our power systems, but the design is completely alien to us. They have somehow combined our technology with their own engineering." The battle was brutal, but brief. Human forces used tactics no alien species had ever developed. They worked in small groups that supported each other, adapting their plans instantly as conditions changed. When Corvin ships tried to form defensive lines, human fighters would attack from unexpected angles, forcing the aliens to break formation. The final moment came when the Retribution and Thakran's flagship faced each other directly. The two massive ships traded devastating blasts of energy. But the human ship's hybrid systems allowed it to absorb and redirect the alien weapon strikes, turning the Corvin's own power against them. "This is impossible," Thakran said as his ship's systems failed around him. "You are supposed to be weak. You are supposed to be primitive." Admiral Collins's voice came through the static. "We were never weak, General. We were just getting ready." Thakran's flagship exploded in a ball of fire that could be seen from Earth. The remaining Corvin ships, leaderless and shocked, began to retreat toward the edge of the solar system. On Earth's surface, the alien ground invasion was falling apart. Captain Tony Marshall led his ghost squads in hit-and-run attacks that left alien forces scattered and confused. The Corvins had been trained to fight other alien species that used straightforward military tactics. They had no defense against human guerrilla warfare. "The aliens keep trying to hold fixed positions," Tony reported to Underground Command. "But we hit them, then disappear before they can respond. They don't know how to fight an enemy that won't stand still." Colonel Maria Santos coordinated psychological warfare that targeted each alien species differently. The Zephyrians, evolved from herd animals, panicked when separated from their groups. The Nefari, used to their gas giant homes, became confused and frightened in Earth's solid matter environment. "We're not just beating them militarily," Maria explained to President Ward. "We're defeating them psychologically. They can't understand how primitive humans are outfighting them." Within 72 hours of the invasion's start, alien forces throughout the solar system were in full retreat. The survivors fled toward Coalition space carrying impossible news. Humanity had not only defeated the invasion, they had destroyed most of the attacking force. At Kepler Station, Ambassador Zektar received the reports with growing horror. "How many ships did we lose?" 80% of the invasion fleet, sir," his aide reported quietly. "General Thakran is dead. The human defense capabilities were far beyond our intelligence estimates." Zektar stared at the tactical displays showing human ships already moving beyond the solar system. The weak prey species had become hunters, and they were coming for the Coalition. "Send word to all member species," he ordered. "Emergency session of the Coalition Council. The humans are no longer our subjects. They are our greatest threat." But his warning came too late. Admiral Collins was already planning humanity's next move. The defensive war was over. Now came humanity's turn to attack. 3 years had passed since the failed invasion of Earth. The galaxy had learned to fear a new name: humanity. Fleet Admiral Steve Collins stood on the bridge of the massive battleship Victory, watching Coalition ships flee from human forces. Once again, what had started as Earth's desperate defense had become humanity's unstoppable advance across the stars. "Another Coalition fleet is retreating from the Rigel system," reported Captain Tony Marshall from the communications station. Tony now commanded the famous Ghost Fleet, human ships that appeared without warning throughout Coalition space. "That makes 15 systems liberated this month." Steve nodded with satisfaction. The word liberated had become humanity's favorite term. Every world freed from Coalition control was another victory for the new galactic order that humans were building. Dr. Ben Clark, now Earth's chief technology officer, walked onto the bridge carrying a tablet full of new designs. "Admiral, the latest weapon systems are ready for testing. Katie's new quantum disruptors can shut down entire alien fleets without destroying them." "Good," Steve replied. "We want them alive to spread the word about human power." The psychological impact of human warfare had shattered Coalition morale. Species that had ruled the galaxy for thousands of years now trembled at reports of human ships in their territory. The aliens simply could not understand how their former victims had become their masters. On the bridge of a fleeing Zephyrian vessel, Commander Veltar tried to explain the impossible to his crew. "The humans adapt faster than we can change our tactics. Every time we develop a new strategy, they have already found 3 ways to counter it." His science officer, a young Zephyrian named Kexlar, studied the tactical data. "Sir, our analysts believe human thinking operates differently from ours. Where we perfect one approach, they try hundreds of different ideas at once. This was exactly what made humans so terrifying to the Coalition species. Each alien race had evolved to be extremely good at one type of warfare. The Corvins were masters of direct assault, the Zephyrians specialized in defensive formations, and the Nefari excelled at long-range combat. But humans seemed to have no specialty except the ability to do everything at once. General Paul Grant commanded the assault on Corvin Prime, the Coalition's strongest military world. His strategy was unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. Instead of the massive frontal attacks that aliens expected, human forces struck from dozens of directions simultaneously. "Phase 1 complete," reported Colonel Jack Turner from the planet's surface. His Marines had learned to fight in the crystal cities of alien worlds using close-quarters tactics that no alien species had ever developed. "We've secured the northern Continent. The Corvan defenders are retreating to the southern strongholds. Paul smiled as he watched the tactical display. Begin Phase 2. Time to show them what human coordination really looks like. What followed was a masterpiece of combined warfare. Human ships in orbit provided precise fire support while ground troops advanced. Engineering units built bridges and roads faster than alien forces could destroy them. Medical teams kept human casualties low while psychological warfare units broadcast messages that terrified alien defenders. The Corvans had never faced an enemy that could coordinate so many different types of forces at once. Their own military doctrine focused on overwhelming strength in single battles. They simply had no answer to humanity's multi-layered approach. How can they manage so many operations at the same time? Asked General Mortok, the Corvan defense commander. Our computers cannot track all their moving parts. His aide provided the disturbing answer. Sir, intelligence believes every human unit can think independently while still working together. They do not need central control like our forces do. This was the key to human success. While alien armies needed detailed orders from Central, command human forces could adapt and improvise on their own. When plans changed, humans changed with them instantly. When new opportunities appeared, they seized them without waiting for permission. The war's climax came at Nexus Prime, the Coalition's capital world. Every surviving alien species had gathered there for what they knew would be the final battle. The planet's defenses were the strongest in the galaxy, built over thousands of years to protect the Coalition's government. Fleet Admiral Collins approached the world with humanity's largest fleet. Beside him on the bridge of the Victory stood President Helen Ward, who had come to personally accept the Coalition's surrender. Massive alien fleet detected, reported the sensor officer. At least 500 ships of all Coalition species. They're forming a defensive line around the planet. Helen looked at the tactical display. It's everything they have left. Steve nodded. And they're fighting in the old way. Big formations, predictable tactics. They still haven't learned. The Battle of Nexus Prime lasted 6 hours. Human forces used every lesson learned in 3 years of warfare. Small squadrons of ships darted through alien formations, striking weak points and disappearing before the slow alien ships could respond. Human fighters worked in teams that supported each other, while alien pilots fought as individuals. The breakthrough came when Captain Sarah Stone led her squadron through what looked like an impossible gap in the alien defenses. Her ships used the same guerrilla tactics that had worked so well in the asteroid belt, appearing and vanishing like ghosts among the larger alien vessels. Alien command ship identified, Sarah reported as her squadron closed in on the Coalition flagship. Requesting permission to demand surrender. Permission granted, Steve replied. Let's end this war. Sarah's voice echoed across all Coalition communication channels. Coalition fleet, this is Captain Stone of the Human Defense Force. You are completely surrounded. Your defenses have failed. Surrender now and your people will be treated fairly. The reply came from Ambassador Zekatar himself, now the Coalition's military commander, after so many generals had been killed or captured. Captain Stone, this is Ambassador Zekatar. The Coalition accepts your terms. The silence that followed seemed to stretch across the entire galaxy. After 3 years of devastating warfare, the most powerful alliance in galactic history had surrendered to the species they had once dismissed as weak prey. The surrender ceremony took place on Nexus Prime's surface, in the same hall where the Coalition had once planned humanity's subjugation. President Ward sat at the head of the massive table where alien leaders had once mocked human weakness. The old Coalition is ended, Helen announced to the assembled alien representatives. In its place, we established the Galactic Federation, with Earth as the capital world. All species will be treated equally under human leadership. Zekatar, the former Corvan ambassador who had laughed at human frailty, now served as Earth's liaison to the reformed Corvan Republic. As he signed the surrender documents, he spoke quietly to President Ward. We made a terrible mistake, he said. We confused your peaceful nature with weakness. We thought because you chose not to fight, you could not fight. Helen nodded. Many species make that error. Humans prefer peace, but we're very good at war. When forced into it, your people turned our greatest strength against us, Zektar continued. We were individually powerful, but you taught us that working together is more important than individual strength. As the ceremony concluded, Admiral Collins looked out the window at the new world humanity was building. In the park surrounding the government building, human children played alongside young aliens of a dozen species. Former enemies were becoming friends under Earth's guidance. The galaxy had learned its lesson. Humans were not weak. They had simply been waiting for a reason to show their true strength. And once aroused, that strength had proven unstoppable. The age of human dominance had begun, built not on conquest but on the simple truth that even the most peaceful people will fight fiercely when their survival is threatened. The species that had once mocked humanity's soft flesh and gentle nature now served in the Federation fleet, proud to fight alongside the warriors who had taught them that true strength comes not from individual power, but from the ability to adapt, cooperate, and never give up. Humanity had risen from galactic joke to galactic leaders in just 4 years, proving that sometimes the greatest mistake is underestimating those who seem weak.